Hello, everyone. Fellow countrymen and those who dream of going to America are striving in America or have already been dissuaded by America. Hello. Today, we're not talking about high-minded politics, but about money. Do you know what hurts us Malaysians the most when we wake up every morning? It's not your wife ignoring you, nor the rising prices at the Memak stall, but when you impulsively check the exchange rate converter. That USD to MYR figure is like a knife, cutting into your heart bit by bit. 1 to 4 point something, almost breaking 5. So you ask me, does the US dollar smell good? Of course, it smells good. It smells even better than Musang King durian, even more tempting than freshly made roti canai. Walking around Kuala Lumpur with $100, you feel like a big shot. But strolling around New York with 100 ringgits, you feel like a beggar. That's why everyone wants to go to America, because we have this deep-seated exchange rate inferiority complex. We've been taught since childhood that earning US dollars is the pinnacle of life. Earning ringgits is due to past life debts. But there has to be a big but here. Many people only realize after going to America that those are old stories. The current script is, you earn US dollars, but you also spend US dollars. It's like what? It's like winning 10,000 chips in Genting, but the wonton mee inside Genting costs you 9,900 ringgits, winning for nothing. You think going to America is like entering heaven? Wrong. It's a high consumption version of hell. Look at that rent. It's not just sucking blood, it's sucking bone marrow. In Kuala Lumpur, 2 to 3,000 ringgits can rent a condo with a swimming pool and gym. In San Francisco, the same money might only rent you someone's closet or a bed in the basement, and you have to share a Wi-Fi with 3 mice. And that tax. My goodness, if the Malaysian tax authorities are mosquitoes, then the American IRS is Dracula. Federal tax, state tax, city tax, when you get your pay slip, you directly doubt your life. Am I doing charity for the government? After working so hard to earn 100,000 US dollars, you take a look and wonder how it shrunk like that. With the remaining money, after buying a few burgers and paying the rent, you realize that being an M40 in America is even more anxious than being a B40 in Malaysia. Let's also talk about what terrifies all Malaysians: American healthcare. In Malaysia, no matter how much we complain about the long queues at government hospitals, we still have a sense of security. Going to a government hospital, giving a ringgit or a few, the doctor will see you, the medicine will be prescribed, and the surgery will be done for you. You are taken care of by the country. In America, hey, there's a joke over there. If I faint on the street, don't call an ambulance. Please call an Uber to the hospital. Why? Because one ambulance ride will wipe out half a year's salary. Some people even say, if I faint in America, whoever calls the ambulance, I'll get up and fight them. American medical bills are a mystery. You go in for a small checkup, and the bill that comes out looks like a phone number. Even if you have insurance, that insurance is full of traps. You have to pay the deductible first, and then there's the copay. In Malaysia, being sick is suffering physically. In America, being sick is a double comminuted fracture of the body and wallet. So, you say the US dollar smells good? When you contribute all the US dollars you've worked so hard to earn to American doctors and insurance companies, that smell is the smell of disinfectant. It doesn't smell good at all. You're absolutely right. Many Malaysians work in America for 10 or 20 years, even get a green card, but stubbornly refuse to change to an American passport. Why? Firstly, it's a kind of leaving a way out wisdom. You have to know that Malaysia, although it has its flaws, is one of the best places in the world to retire. Your stomach is a Malaysian stomach. Your tongue is a sambal tongue. If you take an American passport, you have to apply for a visa to return to Malaysia in the future. How troublesome is that? In case you can't make it in America when you're old, or the American shootings are too scary, you can still take that red Malaysian passport, buy a plane ticket and escape back to Penang to eat char kway teow, escape back to Apo to drink white coffee. Secondly, there's a very painful truth here. In America, no matter what passport you hold, your face is your nationality. If you take an American passport, white people still see you as Asian, black people still see you as Asian, that invisible ceiling, that "you're not one of us," that's not spoken but revealed in the eyes, is a pain in the hearts of many immigrants. We Malaysians are very pitiful. In Malaysia, non-Bumiputras sometimes feel like second-class citizens, going to America thinking it's a beacon of freedom and equality, only to find themselves becoming a minority, still another form of outsider. So many Malaysians have figured it out. Since it's second class everywhere, it's better to keep the Malaysian citizenship. At least there's good food there. At least there's no freezing winter. At least there I can understand what curse words people are calling me. Alright, let's talk about Americans. Many people think Americans are all Einsteins, all Jobs, all Iron Men before going to America. After going there, they realize that's Hollywood fooling you. Many ordinary Americans in reality are so bad at math that you wonder how they grew up. You go to the supermarket to buy something. It costs $12.25. You give him $22.25, wanting him to give you 10 back. That cashier will look at you as if you're giving him a calculus question, and in the end, he can only completely rely on the machine to tell him how much change to give. Why does America need foreigners? Because their own people don't want to do, or can't do. The polarization of education in America now is too serious. The children of the elite class are really amazing, but the mass education at the bottom is basically teaching you how to be happy. Happy education? Happy to the point that they can't even memorize the multiplication table. So you look at Silicon Valley, look at Wall Street, look at those high-tech labs. Who's working there? It's Chinese Indians, Malaysians, Koreans. If they are pure American whites, many may be doing art, doing management, or doing political correctness. You say Americans are tired from working several jobs? That's true. But that tiredness is different from our tiredness. Their service industry, blue-collar jobs, although the wages look high, the cost of living suffocates them. And Americans are really living paycheck to paycheck, saving money. Doesn't exist. Get paid this week, spend it all next week, and if they encounter a pandemic or a broken car, they go bankrupt directly. So they need foreigners. They need Asians like us who have been trained since childhood to be hardworking, to save money, and to be good at math to help them build. You're too sharp. America relies on foreigners to help them become strong. There's nothing wrong with that statement. You walk into Google, walk into Facebook, walk into NASA, you take away all the foreign immigrants inside, and you'll find that America's technological edifice collapses by half, especially in STEAM fields. The most cunning thing about America is that although its basic education is terrible, its universities and research institutions have money. It uses the highest salaries and the best laboratories in the world to attract the smartest brains in the world, including Chinese, Indians, Malaysians. That's snatching the best. If America were all pure American natives, without this foreign blood transfusion, would America still be so great today? It's hard to say. Maybe their technology tree would be developed much slower. You look at the current situation, China has a lot of talent. Even if only 1 in 1,000 Chinese people are geniuses, that base number is terrifying. China's engineers are now mass-produced, like dumplings being dropped into a pot. And America? Still arguing about whether mathematics is racial discrimination. So in the long run, in terms of talent reserves, America would have lost long ago without immigrants. So what do we Malaysians count as in the middle? In America, we are often the silent working cows. We are not as cohesive as Indians, not as good at bragging, not as good at making PPTs to snatch CEO positions. We are also not as competitive or as large as the Chinese. Malaysians are generally adaptable, have good language skills, and are hardworking. However, if we in America earn the same salary as Americans, the quality of life is really not as good as in Malaysia. In Malaysia, if you earn 15,000 ringgits a month, you can live very comfortably. You may have a car and a house, and you can go to the shopping mall to buy whatever you want on weekends. But in America, 3,000 plus US dollars? That's just hovering on the edge of the poverty line, and you'll be in debt if you're not careful. Many Malaysians stay there not just for the money. Some are for their children's education, some are for that sense of freedom of no one controlling you, and some are to escape relatives' pressure to marry and comparisons. But if you ask them if they're tired, are they bitter inside? Bitter? In the end, it's a gilded cage. People in Malaysia look at America as US dollars all over the ground, thinking that if they go, they can turn their lives around and buy sports cars. People in America look at Malaysia as food all over the ground, thinking that going back is life, is being human. Americans seem strong, but they are actually built on a huge global talent blood-sucking mechanism. They are like a huge multinational corporation. The CEO may be American, but the engineers, accountants, and logistics staff who do the work are all outsourced or imported. Without these foreigners, America would just be a large agricultural and entertainment country. So don't think Americans are all geniuses, and don't think America is heaven. Where you earn money, you spend money. Where you're comfortable, that's home. If you can earn a decent amount of money in Malaysia, can be by your parents' side, dare to call an ambulance when you're sick, have Ramly burger to eat when you're hungry in the middle of the night, and don't have to worry about being pushed onto the tracks by a homeless person while walking down the street, then actually, you're pretty happy too. The US dollar smells very good, but to smell that fragrance, you have to make your life like a battlefield, and also endure that sense of loneliness that you can never integrate into, only you can calculate whether that's worth it. That's today's stand-up show, the rights and wrongs, the warmth and cold, you know for yourself. Thank you everyone, I'm going to eat nasi lemak, the one with sotong. After all, I can afford it in Malaysia.